Okay, so today I'm talking about arcade. What is it good for? Is it worth it? Subscription based music applications and plugins and stuff like that obviously have their place. But where does arcade fit in the mix? I've been meaning to do this video for a minute actually, because I ended up doing that thing where I get the free trial for a program or something like that, and then I intend to make a video about it, and then I don't, and then I get charged. So I paid for arcade like once or twice, and I don't even use it that much. I got it to do a video about to like actually review it, and I ended up never actually doing that. So here I am today, a little bit later, and I have used it a little bit more than I probably intended to, but I'm gonna let y'all know what I think about it. As we all know, if Hit Boy had this when he was maybe 20, he'd probably be a billionaire by now. Like I said, arcade has its place in somebody's music production workflow. Maybe not necessarily mine, but I'm gonna show y'all what I liked it for, and if I were to keep it, if I really had it like that, what I would actually use it for. I could probably build this whole beat in arcade, but I don't really want to do that, and I'll explain to you why I don't want to do that because of my opinion on arcade. I'm not gonna like gatekeep it or nothing like that, but it's I'd rather use it as a component in my workflow rather than it being my workflow, if that makes sense. But I'll get into that later. Right now, I have a preset loaded in Playbox called Lost My DVD. And I already came up with a nice little pattern with the preloaded chords that are already in it. So I'm going to record that, and then we'll go from there. This is easy mode music production. Just understand that 100%. And like I said, I'm gonna talk about that later. But hey, if it works, it works. Who cares? Had some other patterns in there for a little bit of variation, but the way you got the loops on here, man, I'm not really gonna do much else to it. I could mess around in Empire Breaks, but I'm not gonna mess with it a whole bunch right now because I'm trying to get this beat moving. Like I said, it's easy mode. So yeah, let's put a little knock on this just to get my drums to punch a little bit. I mean, you ain't gotta do all this, but I have my preferences. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. I have the bass down, or the chord progression down, and I have the drums down. The only two other things that I'm really thinking about adding to this is either a bass line or an 808 and arcade. So I'm gonna see about arcade first. I'm gonna go in there, and we're actually gonna break this down and see exactly what we're looking at when it comes to using arcade in your workflow. My apologies. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff in arcade right now. They got a lot of new stuff. I mean, it looks really cool. The user interface is very, very engaging. And if you are new to music, or if you just like things that look, nice and shiny and colorful, this is where it's at. I've been using Hooked a lot. This is the sampler instrument type thing that is in arcade that I think kind of really sold arcade on a lot of people. It has vocal samples in it, and it maps to your keyboard, and you can play the sampler. How it's like they chop the sample up for you. Having a lot of good high quality samples that are already chopped up for you and aren't going to get you in trouble, because we all know where sampling is going at this point. Like, the whole vibe around sampling is kind of insane. This is probably a good tool for you. Of course, you can always make your own samples or play your own stuff, but if you aren't as musically gifted or skilled at it, this is a great place to start. It even has effects baked into it, so I can do a lot of different stuff to this one sample that I want, whatever I want to do to it. It has some effects. Most of these instruments have like 4 effects built into it. So there's a fuzz, delay, hype, dirty, halt, and wave filter, so he can make them sound a little bit different, which is where we get into like the uniqueness. It sounds completely different. So, I mean, you'll never go in here if you, everything sounds different depending on what you mess with. You can change the key of it. So right now I'm working in the key of standby. Let me go back to Playbox and check on what key I'm in. I'm in A minor in Playbox. Arcade is currently in C sharp minor. So hold on one sec. I hate how that sounds. Hype. What is that? I guess that's like saturation, distortion, whatever. Anyway, it's in C minor. I want it to be in A minor. It changes it automatically. This is really, really cool. You don't gotta go in here and mess with the pitch and the speed and all this other stuff. But you can go in here and you can modify pretty much any part of this. Now this is where Arcade gets really powerful, and I think it can be a lot more worth it. I think you can import your own samples to it, but don't quote me on that, and I'm not gonna look it up. So don't get it for just that. Figure that out yourself. But I can go in here and I can go and I can tweak every single separate sample that is in here and do what I want to it. I'm not gonna mess with this stuff because I don't feel like it, and that's gonna take too long. But as you can see, there's clearly a lot of stuff that you can do inside Arcade. Again, I think Arcade can be a part of your music production workflow, but in my opinion, I don't think it should be your whole music production workflow. Because someone else did all the work already. Where's the satisfaction? Where is the fulfillment in making a beat? Unless you're like starting out or learning. But if you already kind of like have a little bit of experience making beats, you're gonna lose a lot of fulfillment when it comes to trying to use a sample pack that someone else put together to make a beat that they're the ones who made. But that's just my 2 cents. Let's get back to making a fire beat, and I'll show you some of the features of Arcade while I do that. Whenever you play, I need let the man go. So yeah, I'm not going to feed a fed horse on how simple this makes making beats. Arcade can be very, very powerful if you use it correctly, or if you use it in a way that you feel like is credible. Something about Arcade just makes me feel kind of weird, but like I said, it's really powerful. It has a lot of great stuff in it, and if you want to go check it out yourself, by all means do that. There's plenty of stuff in here that you can do. Like, hold on, I'll show you. Like, listen. You want to make a like a lo-fi type? Let's preview this pack. All these sounds are in it. You can make this beat if you wanted to. Don't do that. And there's plenty of sample packs that will allow you to make something that sounds like that. Don't make that specific beat. Somebody already did that, and you probably know who I'm talking about. Don't get yourself in trouble using samples. We already know where sampling is going. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff. Let's see, what else can you, what's saison? You can make any genre. Think musical sushi, that's what it says. I think musical lunchable. If I'm doing a Cookup and I'm trying to make some gourmet, like super chefed, nice sounding beats, if you use just arcade, you are working with a Lunchable. It's gonna be good, but like, is it really? You know, there's something better. It literally is like, it advertises as, we already put some stuff together for you. You don't have to do a lot of work. The tagline on this says, hip hop beats dipped in hypnotic syrup. Just add bars. Something soulless about that for some reason to me. I don't know. Here's what I think about arcade. Arcade is a powerful tool that you can use to make sure that you have something that sounds good. I'm trying to tactfully choose how I am wording this because I don't want to shit on arcade. Arcade is nice. It can be. My overall thing for this video is that arcade definitely works as a component in your music production workflow, not as your whole workflow. Of course, you can use it to make your whole workflow. You can use the samples in here to make a whole beat. But the fact that most of it is loops, a lot of it is loops. I mean, there's definitely instruments in there that you can play melodies on with. But for the most part, the average person who uses arcade is probably in it for the samples. That's why I ended up actually getting it for once. I love vocal samples on my music. I will use it to add them to it, and it will automatically sound good. All I got to do is put it in the right key. It's tempo synced. There's a lot that arcade offers that will make your workflow a lot easier. I will always say, when it comes to arcade, you put it on easy mode. That being said, at the same time, what this kind of does is take a little bit of value away from the soul the heart, soul, the skill, the talent, the musicality that you put into making a piece of art. Basically, you can come into this, you can hold down a button a few times and you can come out with a really, really good sounding beat. Does that matter? Not really. When it comes to you making a beat and you trying to get a placement or selling that beat or whatever you want to do with it, or even just saying, hey, I made a beat. If it sounds good, ain't nobody gonna care. No, nobody cares. Nobody's gonna give a shit if you just hold down a button 3 times in 5 minutes. As long as it comes out and it's fire, it doesn't matter. Somebody can rap on this beat. I can probably, I mean, like I did a little bit more, but I really didn't do that much. This beat was on easy mode. If that's what you do and you end up using that to make something that somebody likes, hey, by all means, like I said, who cares how you made it? But I think a lot can be said about the fulfillment that comes from applying your skill, your talent, even your choices in sound selection. Because somebody already picked out these sounds. Somebody already played and recorded these loops. There's something to be said about the fulfillment, how it feels to have put your own creativity, your own creative process into making a loop or playing the drums yourself, or even just the sound selection or sound design. There's something about that I don't think you'll get if you use arcade as your primary center of your workflow. If you're using it to add components, it can definitely be inspiring. If you use it as your whole thing, you can definitely make some fire music. Like if you rap and that's your main thing, you don't really produce, use arcade, make your own beats. Pretty good way to go. There's a lot you can do, a lot of options. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on arcade. That's all I got to say about it. I'm just in my bedroom making beats most of the time, so stop by my channel, watch the Cookups. I'm gonna make a few more just Cookups, so you can just watch me make a beat rather than me talking through the whole thing, because this was a very ranty video. I got strong feelings about samples. They held a special place in my heart, but also where we are in this day and age, samples are kind of going crazy when it comes to the repercussions that are being applied to sampling. Arcade will probably keep you out of trouble. I don't know. Anyway, the video's over. I need to stop ranting. Hit me up. Daddy's working on everything on my YouTube channel. Daddy's working. If you want to hear fire music, it's on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music. My music's on TikTok. My music is on literally everything, basically. And I'm putting out new music every, here and there, every now and then. So yeah, hit me up. Support the artist. Support the beats. Support the video. Like it. Subscribe to the channel if you actually enjoyed watching me bitch about arcade, or if you just want to hear me make some more beats and watch the process. I might teach you how to do some stuff. Yeah, consider subscribing, consider liking the video, and tell your mom about it. Other than that, enjoy the music.